Good morning, fellow humans. Today is Sunday, September. Oh, that protein powder. Cut. Okay, good morning. Good morning. Today is September 28, 2025. My name is Edward Bevilacqua. Here we are once again at Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help our students and interested people on their journey through this prospectively adventurous life. Okay, well, that's kind of. Should I do it again? Do it through? No, that's good enough. Okay, we'll handle it in editing. Okay, so here we are once again, Sunday, G.school, day 7 in week 3 of our State Pen workbook, our neuroscience-oriented approach to success, designed for people in the State Pen, not Penn State. Four hours a day to a better life. Okay, but here we are, and we're trying to go through it during the bustle of the day, the daily bustle. Today's theme is a continuation of yesterday. The Pre-Church Church Part 2. But before we get into that, let's have our little disclaimer. G.school focuses on the spiritual side of life, whereas Monday through Friday we focus on physical, mental, and emotional, or the gifts that we have been given, the gift of this body that can do things that no other body of any other animal can do, a brain that is unmatched by any other brain, and it's the most complicated thing in the universe other than the universe. And number 3, emotions that are beyond emotions of any other animal. Yes, good morning, Maticus von Atticus. Sophie will be reaching out this morning. And yeah, so we'll get back to it. So that's what this is for, people. And the disclaimer is, if you are already saved, if you are saved, this is not designed for you. This is designed for the people who are not saved, the ones working out their salvation with fear and trembling. This is not for you, but you are welcome. And it is suggested that you come as children come, as Jesus said, not as experts, but as people that have open minds to learn. But if you already have the answer, that's okay too. All are invited. Secondly, this is to help people become successful. So if you're already successful, this is not for you. But you never know, you might learn something. Could be entertaining, could be part of the routine, part of the swallowing a frog, the daily swallowing a frog routine. Could be part of that. Who knows? And let's see, what else? Okay, so let's get into it. Today's topic, once again, the pre-church church. Should we care about this? Well, I think my Protestant and sisters should at least be, because I foresee my Karnak. I just need an envelope. Where's there an envelope when you need one? Never have an envelope when you need one. That's wild. That's not an envelope. Karnak, I foretell, as everybody starts using AI, the number of prompts and questions having to do with the Bible and Jesus are going to grow exponentially, logarithmically. Not geometrically. And the more people do that, the more they're going to find, there's some holes in my theology. There's some holes, there's some gaps, there's some chasms, some crevasses. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, let's go to our worksheet. Advice from an 80-year-old. Be aware of the person who has nothing to lose. I modified this up until now. For the last however many years we've been getting advice from an 80-year-old. Be aware of the person who has nothing to lose. You don't need to be aware of them. Maybe you do, but you certainly should be aware. In other words, that guy has nothing to lose. We got to keep our eye on him because he could do something not good. He could take everything down because he has nothing to lose, or she. She'll just wipe you out. That person will just take you down, wipe you out, scorched earth. They have nothing to lose. They don't care about their reputation, what people think about them. It's just, I am going to get you. They don't care what happens to themselves. It's just, I am going to ruin your life. I'm so upset. I'm so mad. My emotions are so out of my control. You've got the key to my emotions. You're controlling them. And instead of taking control of my emotions, I'm going to strike back and destroy you and me at the same time. It's the frog and the scorpion, right? Or the frog's going to cross the little stream, and the scorpion says, I can't swim. Would you take me across? And this frog says, no, because you'll sting me and I'll die. And he'll say, yeah, but then I would die too. And I'm trying to get across the stream. So that doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. Just, I'll be good. I'll be a lookout for you. Who knows? Maybe I can help. Okay. And then halfway through, the scorpion does what it does. The frog says, why did you do that? Now we're both going to die. And the answer was basically, I'm a scorpion. That's what we do. So people who have nothing to lose will do things to harm those around them. So you don't need to be aware. You need to be aware. Okay, let's go to Seth Godin. Act now. The link to it is act fast, but act now. Start where you are. Start with what you've got. Start now. Now is the perfect moment. It only feels fast if we're running. Don't rush, but act with deliberate progress. Right. Seth Godin, right. Don't rush, but act with deliberate progress. So yesterday I got a call saying, well, there's an issue over here. We're changing course. And I just wanted to let you know, so you don't need to do this anymore because of that thing over there has nothing to do with you, has nothing to do with our thoughts, feelings, etc. regarding you. But yeah. So this should be a lesson to you. Don't rush. I'm thinking, wait a second. All the things that led us here was you telling me. And now you're saying something other than, oops, we made a mistake, we're going to fix it. Now you're saying this, that, these other things. I don't know what to tell you about you. We're trying to figure things out right now. But But yeah, and in the future, you need to do stuff with us. Come through us with any ideas you have because of that. So, interesting. Interesting. I think the Silicon Valley way, the Jeff Bezos way, is fail fast. Fail fast. Get started when you have the, Seth Godin might say, what's the minimal information you need to make a go, no-go decision? And then if it's not working, fail fast. Don't keep going down this path that leads to nowhere. Rather than two roads diverged in a yellow wood and be one traveler there, long I stood. No, rather than that, I'm going to go that way. And then after a short period of time, if it doesn't look rewarding, double back, go the other way. Or maybe another strategy could be kind of go down that one fast, choose one, go down it fast, choose which one you think looks the best, go down it fast a little while, come back, go down the other one fast for a little while, come back. And then with a little bit more information, you can make maybe a better decision. Act. So act now. Start where you are. Start with what you've got. Start now. Now is the perfect moment. It only feels fast if we're rushing. Don't rush, but act. Okay? Move forward, forward progress. It has a compounding effect. Okay, cool. TED Talk advice, TED Talk, Jerry Maguire, Help Me, Help You, finishing out the week of outside our school-sized kingdom. How do we get other people to help us? Today's an interesting one, because if you think about Friday, Derek Sivers pulling it all together from the perspective of the lone nut who becomes the leader, and from the perspective of the first followers. We'll get more into that next week when we're talking about Ignatius of Loyola. But you join a tribe, try to nudge it forward. You nudge it forward through a compelling speech, compelling presentation. And then what you do is you connect with the true believers and you ignore the non-true believers. So join tribe for the purpose of nudging it forward. Tell a compelling story. What not a bevy? You're here. Good, you're up now. How did you sleep? Night number 1 in the woman's house. Once again, getting it back on track. Kind of rough, but needed people out there, so there were no what? So there were no squatters, right? No one else, no people coming in from the fields. And there was a rainstorm yesterday. The wind was so strong it blew over the refrigerator. So we fixed that problem. Okay, next. Okay. Number 1, this is what we learned this week. To get people to help you, join a tribe. Now you're around a bunch of people that have similar interests. Nudge them forward. That means get them to change a little bit the direction or go a little bit faster. Act now. Next, tell a compelling story. Wednesday, we learned from Simon Sinek, how do you tell a compelling story? And the compelling story is simply about why we need to change the status quo, why we need to do things differently. So today, Jerry Maguire is having a conversation with Rod about why we need to change our behavior, why we need to play to show them that we care about the game. Why do we need to do that? Because we want a contract. The compelling story is why we need to change the status quo. The status quo for Rod is he didn't have a contract. Jerry Maguire is telling him, here's what I suggest we do. Now, Rod then tells his compelling story. He rejects Jerry's story and he tells his story. I'm a premium player. I smoke all these guys, and do your job, meaning get me a contract. I'm not going to change what I'm doing. You need to get me a contract. Jerry then tells another story, which is how difficult it is to be Jerry working with Rod, who's stubborn. And his new compelling story is help me, help you. Help me, help you. Once again, trying to get him to change the status quo, his behavior. Help me, help you. And you see it's about to take root, and then Rod can't stay with it. So his new story is to mock, mimic, parody Jerry with it. Instead of getting the message, it's the, oh, help me, help you, help me, help you. At which point Jerry gives up and leaves. But Rod then responds with, hey man, we're just starting to get to know each other. We're just starting to bond. And Jerry dismisses it and walks out. So tell a compelling story why we need to change the status quo. Beware of people who have nothing to lose. All right. Now, finally, we got through that. My apologies, it took so long, but it was important stuff. That's the important stuff. The pre-church church. I think my Protestant brothers and sisters are going to have to pay attention to this, because as AI gets out there and people put in prompts, more and more people are going to put in the prompt, tell me about the church, the earliest church, like in the year 34 through 40. Tell me about that, right after Pentecost, right after Jesus died. Tell me what the church was like then. What were these Christians doing? And what do we find? They weren't Christians. They were Jews who believed the Messiah had come. And they started talking about the Messiah. So Jewish ritual plus information on the Messiah. And they were in home. They didn't have their temples. They might practice in a temple or a synagogue. But then they had small home groups. Right. So yesterday we talked about the Messianic Jews. And I talked to Renee about that on Friday. And Messianic Jews are Christians. And they're not that gap. She doesn't know the early church fathers. She doesn't know that. She doesn't know the patristic period. She doesn't know any of that. This is, we're Christians, but we want to have some connection to our Jewish roots. But I think with AI, people are going to start doing prompts saying, tell me about the early church. Tell me about the earliest church and how it became what it did. And you're going to find, unfortunately, that there is a direct succession with the Catholic Church all the way back to Peter, the apostles, James, Paul. There's a direct, this thing has stayed firm. And the apostles believed in Mary, they believed in the Eucharist, and they believed in infant baptism. Kind of the three main things Protestantism criticizes the Catholic Church. The things they criticize have been, go all the way back to the very beginning. And things held true, like sola scriptura, sola fide, were not part of it. They were not part of it. It was all tradition. There was no scriptura. There was no fide. This is the direct witnesses. What did they do and what did they teach? What were their traditions? And then what about all of the other letters in the pre-Nicene period? Well, that's like 9 encyclopedia volumes of letters that are still intact about what was actually happening. And it's a problem. Well, I think it's going to be a problem as more and more people do more and more studying, and their pastor has no idea about this, and there's going to be questions. Yeah, well, what about this? What about that? What about Irenaeus? What about these other guys? And the pastor is not going to know. Who? Oh, I don't care about that. I only care about Calvin. I care about Luther. I care about Zwingli. Yeah, but back here, this is what they're doing. We're not doing what they were doing. Our whole thing has nothing to do with what they were doing. Their whole thing was built around the Eucharist, for example, not lecture series, not a band, as they say, a band and a funny man, not that. This was the Messiah has come. Let me tell you about it. Let me tell you about it. So I foresee, where'd my envelope go? I foresee, Karnak, I foresee it's going to be a problem. Fragmentation is going to go, we're going to go from 40,000 churches with 10 people to 4 million churches with half a person. Anyway, time is racing. What not a bevy. I will see you before 7:30. And hopefully Ashley will be up. And we'll let Ashley know. I'll let Ashley know we're going to pick her up at like 10:15 to go to the Methodist church, which is where she likes to go. And yeah, bingo, bango, bongo. Bingo, bango, bongo. Okay, that's it. Shivas and shalom. And we're going to catch up with Matt. Maybe we'll have lunch with Matt today, etc. Can't take Matt to church, but we'll figure it out. Hasta la vista.